to the Batillipes workshop. Today I'm going to talk about a conversion I did with my old 1980 Triumph Spitfire that had the old heavy rubber bumpers on it, and I replaced them with earlier chrome bumpers. And when I did this conversion, it took a lot of effort to find all the information. And so I decided to compile it all into a single article, which I then published on a website. But that website's gone now, and so I've had a few inquiries about how I did the rubber bumper replacement, and so I thought I would do an abridged version of my article, but then include the article in the information below the video. So if you go down and look below the video, there should be a PDF on the bumper conversion, and you're welcome to use that, and you're welcome to share it all you want. So as an introduction to this project, let's take a look at what the car looked like before. As you can see on the screen, it had the big ugly black bumpers. Also notice that it had stock wheels, and most of the chrome was actually blacked out, most of the chrome trim. So when you go to the new picture, you'll see that we have the nice sleek chrome bumpers on it, but also nice wire wheels. And again, most of the blacked out trim has been replaced by either chrome or stainless steel trim. I need to provide a disclaimer. Changing your bumpers could put your car at risk in collisions. After all, that's why they were put there in the first place. So I'm just telling you what I did and how I did it. I'm not recommending you do this at all. So you need to make your own decisions or consult an expert before you do something like this. The first part is sourcing the bumpers and the other parts. And you should be able to buy used bumpers from earlier Mark IV or 1500 model Spitfires. And they should look like this. And the front bumper should have front mounting holes, under rider mounts in the front as well, and then side mounting holes on the sides where the bumper connects in. I remember being a little confused about how the underriders, the grill ends, and the grill all fit together. So I put this diagram together just to help figure it out. It's not that bad. It just took a while. Now, all the other parts I got, a lot of them came from Spit Bits. Here's a list. Note that these are prices from 2016, so they're probably out of date. And then other things I got that I used are here on this list as well. You can either pause the video to look at these, or you can just go down below the video and download the PDF document that this video is based on. So let's start, with the rear bumper. That's the simplest. There's two studs that feed into the boot of the car on either side of the rear of the bumper. And then where the bumper wraps around the sides, there's two more bolts, one on each side, that feed into the boot as well. And then there's a bracket and 4 bolts that connect it to the car frame underneath. The replacement chrome bumper goes on just using the 2 back bolts and the 2 side bolts, the same places as the rubber bumper. And remember to put socks around the end of your bumpers, either end, just to prevent scratching your paint. You also need to put some nylon washers between the bumper and the body of the car on either side, as you can see in this photo. So the front bumper, it's a little more complicated. So that black plastic skin, it just comes off with some small bolts that you'll see on top of the bumper and underneath the bumper. They're pretty obvious. You also need to unscrew and reroute the front signal running lights just to get them out of the way. You don't have to unplug them, just move them out of the way for the time being. The left and right yellow bumper pads are mounted on the hinge box, and they can be unbolted from their bracket, but then the bracket has to be removed by cutting the welds so that you leave the underlying support, but you remove the U-shaped bracket that was actually wrapped around the 2 yellow pads. Then remove the spoiler and cowling so you can get to the steel support structures. And this next picture shows the various front bumper support structures. A is the hinge boxes for the hood. B are the angle iron brackets we'll talk about later. C are the L brackets that are welded to the lower cross member, which is labeled D. The overview of what needs to be done, what needs to be removed is shown here. This includes unbolting the upper cross member from the inside. You unbolt 2 center pad supports from the back, then cut off part of the angle iron brackets as shown, and the L bracket should be cut off flush with the lower cross member. There are some tabs on each side of the lower front that can be removed or bent down to support older style underwriters. I just cut mine off. The bolts that hold the upper cross member are in the engine compartment, and they're kind of hard to spot, so here's a picture of it. And there's one on each side, and once you take those out, you can remove the upper cross member. After all is removed, the front end looks like this, and here are all the parts that were removed. So you already cut the welds to remove the bumper pad brackets from the hinge boxes. So now you need to square off the hinge box as shown in the figure here to allow the new bumper to fit. Again, a lot more details about this in the PDF document that's posted below this video, but here's an overview. So the front bumper mounts like this. A shows the left side of the front bolt for the chrome bumper, so that's where that goes. B shows how I propped up the bonnet to get access to the front bumper bolt. It's not easy, and you've got to get just the right angle to be able to get your wrench and hands in there. C shows where the left side bumper bolt is located. And D shows the nylon washers between the paint and the side bumper bolts, just like on the rear. So once the bumper was on the grill and the 2 underwriters were snapped together and placed over the hinge boxes, I made a bracket to support the grill and mounted it, as shown, to the front lower cross member. Now, of course, there are a lot of complications in doing this that are shown in great detail in the PDF document below, but I think for this video, it's enough. So now, here's the final project as it was when I first finished it. Well, that's it for the video. Again, it was just showing how I replaced the old rubber bumpers with chrome bumpers on my Spitfire, my 1980 Spitfire. It was a fun job to do. It was quite a while ago, but again, people have asked for how I did it. So here's all the information in one place. And remember, the go-to document will be the PDF document that's below the video on your screen right now. I'd suggest if you're going to do this project, download it. Feel free to pass it around, give it to anybody who wants it. And until next time, from Batillipes Workshop.